Well, we're here for fun today. I don't know if this is going to keep going. I guess not. But this is how we're going to enter into this thing. So we do rapid fire features, rapid fire fun, rapid fire content, and rapid fire coaching. This is the very first time that we're doing rapid fire fun. So what I'm really excited about is, here's the deal. If, for whatever reason, we are operating in life and we are operating in business and we're not having fun, then what are we doing? Why are we doing it? How do we put ourselves in a position to have fun? So, oh, wait. I just wanted to make sure. That's my alter ego. But what's really funny is most people are like, wait a minute, it looks just like you. You already have a mustache. Yeah, I do. We're having fun. And Moises is laughing. So that's always a win. My team has a whole set of questions for me. They're going to be fun questions, fun-natured questions, and I'm going to be answering those today. So instead of our normal serious cadence, and I just realized I slammed and smashed my nose with that, we're going to have some fun today. So what do we have? Throw some questions up on the screen for me. Do I like pineapple on my pizza? You know what? I do. It's not something I seek out and get often, but my dad's absolute favorite pizza is Hawaiian pizza. So the ham and the pineapple. And so I have absolutely learned to appreciate it. And though I typically am not like a sweet pineapple on my pizza kind of guy, there are sometimes it just hits the spot. Let's see, what else do we have? If you could time travel, what year would you travel to and why? You know, I don't know that I have an answer for this. I might travel to the future, not to the past. And I would probably travel to year, I'm going to say 2040 or 2045. I would like to get 20 to 25 years in the future to be able to really understand the perspective on where we're going so that I can ensure everyone that it will be okay. I think there's a lot of chaos and things going on in the world. And I genuinely would like to not only see where we've advanced from a technological perspective, from a healthcare perspective, from a resource perspective, from a business perspective, but from a societal perspective. And so I just have a deep fascination for where we're going. And I don't know that I need to go back historically because so much of that's already been documented in books. And I've already extracted a lot of the lessons from my own life. So the reality of it is like I can learn still from the past, but I get really inspired by the future. What is my favorite smell? Oh, man. You know, I would have to say that it's got to be either a combination of baked goods, like any kind. I love pumpkin bread. So I would tell you that when my wife gets into pumpkin bread season and I can smell that billowing through the house, that's something that I really enjoy. But I also am a carnivore and I love smoked meat. And so one of my favorite smells is after doing a 24-hour brisket, what that does when you open the lid of the smoker and you just get to take it all in. It's just glorious, and it's like it makes my mouth water. If you could master any sport overnight, what would the sport be? I'm going to say IndyCar racing. If you could ask your pet 3 questions, what would they be? Well, we have 5 pets. We have 3 dogs and 2 cats. And so I would have to get a little bit more specific on this one. I probably would go to the level of asking our oldest cat, Fury. He was a rescue, and he's a very funny cat because he likes to go out in the backyard, but he's never once tried to hop the fence or leave. So he just lounges. And so I would probably ask him, what about our yard makes him feel like he doesn't need to leave? I think it's probably because he was stray. I would probably ask him why Addison is his favorite, despite the fact that she like seemingly has no respect for his personal space or body, and why he goes limp every time she picks him up, because literally she does, and he just goes limp. It's the funniest thing ever. And then I would probably ask those two questions are probably one and the same. And then I would probably ask who his other favorite animal in the house is. If I were a fruit, what fruit would I be? I would probably say that I am a kiwi. I think that kiwi is just an incredible fruit. It's rare. It's more tropical. It's furry and fuzzy on the outside, and you don't expect a green inside when you see the brown outside. So I just love that kiwi is like this layer of surprises. It's got this beautiful array of seeds on the inside. It's just a really pretty and tasty fruit. So I think I'd like to be a kiwi. Soft and cuddly on the outside, delicious on the inside. What is the craziest bet I've ever made? You know what? I honestly don't have an answer for this. It's been a long time since I made a crazy bet, and I'm trying to think like what the stakes were on one of my craziest. If I can remember on this one, I'll come back to it. But I honestly don't remember because I have not made big crazy bets in a while. If you could take just one thing with you to a deserted island, what would you choose? Does it have to be a thing, or can it be a person? What's going? Does it have to be a thing, or can it be a person?
It could be a thing or a person.
If it's a person, it's hands down my wife. If it's a thing, it would probably be. I'm going to say it would be somehow the entire Audible library on a singular device with unlimited battery. How long do you think I'd survive in a zombie apocalypse? Dude, I've been through a lot. I think I could survive a lot longer than most. But I also have a wife that is like big time into believing that zombie apocalypses could be real. She's like loved those shows, and I even forget what they are. But she's watched a number of them and loves them. And she, I think, has all of the detailed plans that we would need, the exact kill locations for how we could take the zombies out. Probably already has a plan on where we'll go and what we would do, because my wife thinks through and plans so many of those elements. So, and I truly like, I've got some fight in me. So if I needed to, I think I would find a way to survive. What is the weirdest thing I've ever eaten? You know what? I don't even know what it was. It was some sea urchin or creature. And the reason I don't know what it was is because two of my good buddies and I went to a really amazing sushi restaurant in Denver, of all places. It's called Izakaya Den, and it's owned by two brothers that are from Japan. And one lives in Japan and hand selects the fish overnight. And the other one lives in Denver and runs 3 different sushi restaurants. Izakaya Den is the highest end of the ones, at least at the time that we had been to. And this was the one that a lot of their friends would come to from Japan to visit them in the States, and would have like these just absolutely glorious feasts. We went in with 3 of us. I don't know, this was maybe 8-9 years ago at this point, maybe 10. And we had just had some really big wins in our business at the time. And so we were there to celebrate. And the 3 of us went in with open bellies, open minds, went through a couple of bottles of incredible sake between the 3 of us. And we ultimately let them just do chef selection on the most obscure, rare things that they would be serving to any other locals. And so there was a handful of things in that were like more urchin-y, not necessarily like shrimp, because shrimp tails can be eaten, but like stuff that I would have never envisioned actually putting in my mouth. And it was delicious. And so I say it's the weirdest thing, but it also happens to be some of the most tasty food I've ever had. And it was a really fun experience. If you had to pick a new name for yourself, what would it be? You know, that's really funny, because I actually did pick a new name for myself when I was probably like 9, because there was somebody that my grandma at the time was dating. And the individual at the time said, yeah, he's like, your birth name is your birth name. But he's like, I want you to be called whatever you want to be called. And my middle name is Michael. And I always preferred my middle name to my first name as a kid. And so I actually went to the level of like saying, okay, call me Michael, call me Mike. And we had a full conversation around it. And even though it is my actual middle name, it's not a name that anybody's ever called me by. And it's really funny because over the course of the next couple of weeks, he attempted to call me Mike or Michael multiple times, but I never actually heard him and never responded. And so I'm not sure that it would be a good idea for me to change my name at this point. I'm not sure that I would actually hear anybody ever talking to me. What was that? I would tell you that it was I had a really long days of interviews with the firm with which I was a partner that we built and scaled. And in my second day of interviews, I had a very tumultuous gut for that day. And so I'm pretty sure that I sneaked a couple out in some of the interviews and just prayed that nobody would notice. What is my life soundtrack? Man, you know, I don't know if there's a singular soundtrack, and I'm going to say soundtrack in terms of an entire album. As it relates to ways that I view the world and a song that's deeply connecting with me over the last probably 2 years, it would be Remember This by NF. But if I had to pick a soundtrack that I felt like most holistically described the way I view the world, the way I want to see opportunity for people, the way I've had to move through my own shame, it would probably be The Greatest Showman soundtrack. And This Is You or This Is Me is one of my favorite songs that's in there. But it doesn't matter what song from that movie, they all had relevance and credibility, which is part of the reason that movie connected so hard for me when it came out. What is a secret talent I have? You know, I was doing this on our live, I think last week with Joe Graham. I can wiggle my ears. There you go. Secret talent. What has been the strangest thing a visitor has done at our home? Well, we had actually some friends maybe 8 years ago house sit for us. And when they house sat, and I'm not going to call out who this person is, and it doesn't really matter, but it was really like an interesting thing. So they had broken a couple of wine glasses and didn't tell us. They rearranged some of our cabinets. Like they literally moved things into different places. They cleaned out and rearranged our fridge, our pantry, our freezer. And this wasn't something that was like a family member that knew how we do this or that we had given any direction around this. This was them deciding that the way we were living and the way we had organized was not in alignment with what they thought needed to happen. And so we came home and literally our entire kitchen was rearranged. And we found that very strange. And needless to say, as much as we love and adore this person, they never house sat for us again. If life is a video game, what cheat code would you want to use most? Well, I have not played a lot of video games in the last few years. And so I am going to freestyle on this one. I'm going to say the cheat code that I would want to use most would be truly to allow anything, any attack, verbal, physical, perceived, or real, to be able to go right through me. I think that I often have the ability to let that happen, but I would let that cheat code take place so it's almost like I have invisibility, but I would want to be seen while things can pass through me. So that way I don't have to go through the same level of work sometimes to neutralize and diffuse the resistance and energy drain that comes from those outside forces. We are going to go ahead and do 2 more questions, and then we're going to wrap up for the day. What do you think is the worst thing that a person can put in their bio on a dating app? I've never been on a dating app, so I have no idea. I'm blessed that my wife and I met before really the rise of smartphones and dating apps. And so let's see. What is the worst thing a person can put in their bio on a dating app? I'm going to say the worst thing is anything that's not real. I think that if you are using the dating app to position who you wish you were versus who you are, I don't know that that's always going to be represented in the most authentic way. And so I would say worst thing only because that's misrepresenting. And depending on where the other person is and what they are wanting to do, they may actually be looking to create a connection and grow and build on something. So I would say the worst thing is anything that's not true. What is the worst tagline you can think of for a wart removal cream company? Oh, man. I would probably say, put it on so that it'll come off. And I think that's how we're going to wrap our rapid fire fun for the day. So if you guys have questions, you'd like to jump in on the rapid fire fun at some point, you'd like to be a part of a rapid fire fun segment, feel free to shoot me a DM on whatever platform you're looking. Like, comment, and share down below. Make sure that we know. But you can also contact us. You can shoot us a text at 604 or 602-704-5189. 602-704-5189. Shoot us a text with any questions, any desire to be involved in this. You can also shoot me an email at brian@brianbogert, or you can also shoot a question over to info@brianbogert, so our entire team is monitoring that. Until next time, be great, be you, make sure you're having fun.